The Force is the energy that connects all living things. It is within everyone, and as Master Yoda said, "For my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is." Life creates it, makes it grow, its energy surrounds and binds us. Those like Yoda, the select few who could wield the power of the Force, were called Force sensitives, and more recently, Jedi. These Jedi studied, served, and used the energies of the Force, usually its light side, to fight for peace and justice in the Galactic Republic, against those who would abuse the gift of the Force. Before the Clone Wars, 10,000 Jedi were recorded to have roamed the galaxy, acting as mediators, negotiators, protectors, and if the occasion called for it, warriors. When the Clone Wars broke out, the Jedi accepted the role as generals, providing tactical insight and fighting alongside the clones, who soon accepted the Jedi as natural leaders and warriors. In fighting in the Clone Wars, the Jedi had believed that they were fighting, as always, for peace. However, it was only until later that they realized that the Clone Wars were destroying their very ideals, driving them towards what they had sworn to avoid, the dark side of the Force. During the execution of Order 66, the Jedi were all but exterminated, leaving only a handful of survivors scattered across the galaxy. The Galactic Republic was dismantled, and under the leadership of Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, now known as the Sith Lord Darth Sidious, the Galactic Empire was established. On the day of the Galactic Empire's rise, a boy, incredibly powerful in the Force, was born on Lothal, a wayward planet far in the Outer Rim territories. Hoping to make the galaxy a better place for their son, his parents Mira and Ephraim started the Rebellion of Lothal. However, when their son was about 7, they were captured, leaving the young boy to fend for himself. This boy was Ezra Bridger, and thus was the inception of the TV series Star Wars Rebels. Ezra possessed a strong connection to the Force. Even before he was properly trained, he had been unknowingly drawing upon its power to get himself out of whatever predicament he found himself in. And although Ezra's story is far from finished, I believe that at this point in time, he has proven himself to be a capable Jedi, and I am excited to see what his story will foretell. However, that is for another time, and perhaps after the Rebels' legacy is set and done, I will return to find the history and backstory of a legend. Beast control, or animal connection, is the Force ability to control an animal to do one's bidding. Throughout Star Wars history, various Force users have utilized this skill to their advantage. Darth Bane, when he sought out the lost temple of Lehon, dominated the will of a Rancor to use as a guide. More recently, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and even as far into the Legends universe as Cade Skywalker can be seen using this ability. Beast control is performed through a clash in the power of wills. In a way, it is similar to how one such as Palpatine would use transfer of essence. A trained Force user will most of the time be able to subdue the will of any one creature and control its actions or thoughts. Ezra, being relatively new to Jedi concepts, has an extraordinary gift in this sector of the Force, which leads me to suspect that Ezra's powers are so far but a fraction of what he could and will become. Much like other Force abilities, Beast Control required the user to let go of their self-consciousness, lower their guard, and open themselves to the Force and the mind of that creature. In a way, to gain control of a creature's thoughts, one must be able to relate to that creature in terms of the Force. This is why Ezra found it easier to connect with the Lothcats and the Purgill, who are creatures aligned with the light side of the Force, and therefore are able to connect through a mutual understanding with Ezra. The Purgill especially recognized Ezra as a burning light in the Force, and willingly forged a connection with him. This just serves as a testament of how strong Ezra really is. Earlier on in the series, Kanan and Ezra went to Fort Anaxes, hoping to lure the Grand Inquisitor into a trap. When the Imperials stormed their location and had them pushed back into a disadvantage, Ezra was also able to convince fyrnocks, small silicon-based predators, to attack the Inquisitor and his stormtroopers. At least one fyrnock was known to be many times the size of the standard one, and far more dangerous. This creature was the mother of all fyrnocks. Although Ezra was able to summon this creature, he had to tap into the power of the dark side to do so, as he opened himself to the mind of the mother fyrnock. The fyrnock did, as commanded, attack the Inquisitor and put up a vicious fight, buying Ezra and Kanan the time necessary to escape. But Ezra was briefly knocked unconscious and left shivering by the unexpected power of the dark side. In the most recent episode, The Mystery of Chopper Base, Ezra found himself, for the first time, unable to subdue a creature, being the Krykna. In the latest Rebels recon, Dave Filoni himself explains that the Krykna are creatures of a different dimension, a different era, if you will. Therefore, Ezra was unable to connect with them, as he simply cannot relate with them, both in literal terms and in terms of the Force. This just goes to show the diversity and mystery of the Star Wars universe, which are aspects that I personally, and I'm sure many other Star Wars fans, treasure about it. Simply its infinite complexity, depth, and maturity. Once the new episode hits, I'll be sure to make some more Rebels videos, but in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you. Until then.